Okay, warm up here. So again, if you get your table completed later, I will come stamp you. Right now I'm moving on. Okay, your books are open with 156. We're going to talk about here just what symmetry means. Okay, if I'm going to plot these 4 points up here first, and then we're going to plot their reflection point across the axis of symmetry. Okay, so this first part is just on the TV. So we are all looking at the TV right now. Where would I plot the point -1, +2? So when you say over -1, which way do you mean? Left. I'll go left 1, right and up 2. That's my first point. Where would I plot the point -8, -3? Left and down. Good. So left 8, down 3. How about the point -5 and 9? Left 5 and up 9. That one's kind of special because where did that one just fall? On the dotted line. And what is my dotted line? It's the symmetry line. Yeah, good. So that one's kind of special. We'll see what that means. And then where will -10 and 0 go? And that's it, right? It's just going to move to the left, and we're not going to move at all. Okay, these are my original points. Now let's do the reflection points. So how can I reflect this first point of -1, 2 to be on the other side? Is it going to move up or down at all? No, we're just going to reflect it over. So what's the distance between this point and the line of symmetry? How many spaces is that? 1, 2, 3. It's 4 spaces away, so it's okay. It's hard to see. So I'm going to go 4 spaces on the other side, and it's the reflection point. All right? How about that bottom guy? How far away is he from the red line? 3. So I'm going to go 3 the other way. Plot my reflection. How about the top one? You know, it doesn't move at all, right? It's on the reflection line, so therefore, it's going to stay there. There is no distance away from the line, so it's going to stay on the line. And then my last guy, he's what, 5 away? 5. So we'll go 5 the other direction. Okay, those are reflection points. Why are reflection points important to us in the quadratic unit? What do the graphs of quadratics look like? Parabolas. Are they symmetrical? Yes. So if I plot points on one side of my parabola, instead of doing more work, I can just plot their reflection points on the other side. Okay? So parabolas are reflective. So if I know the Y-intercept on one side for my parabola, then I can do its reflection point. Okay? The axis of symmetry cuts it in half. What point is on the axis of symmetry? It's a special one in my quadratics. What is it?
2.
What's it called? What's my turning point called in my quadratics?
Vertex.
Vertex. There we go. So your vertex is always on your axis of symmetry. Okay? So that special point, that one that we have up there at the top, there will always be a point on the line also. Okay? So today is important. A lot's happening today. So let's put our distractions away, please. I see some phones. I see some earbuds. Some of you think you're hiding it and you're not. Is it out in front of your face? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. So let's just, it's lots of things we've done before, but we're putting them all together finally. Okay? So just stay with me. We got a couple of them to do. And then I'll give you your homework sheet, and you'll be able to complete part 4 of your project tonight. All right? So stay with me. We have 5 steps we have to do every time. Finally, in our books, page 156, they have given me the equation x squared minus 4x minus 12. Okay? X squared minus 4x minus 12. Before I do anything else, I want to figure out what is my a, b, and c, because we're going to use it. We always use them with my quadratics. So what is my a value here?
1.
A is 1. Good. What's my b value? -4. No x's. My values are not x's. X's are variables. They are not numbers, right? And what is my C value? Negative 12. We're going to need to know A, B, and C every time. So just go ahead and get it down. All right, step 1 is asking me about what the A value is. Okay, so what is my A value? 1. We just said it was 1. Is that a positive or a negative number? Positive. It's a positive number. So that tells me what about my parabola?
That's going to be a smile.
It's going to smile. It's going to open up. So because A was positive 1, it's going to open upwards. So step 1, what is A equal to? And does that mean it's going to be positive or negative? Or will it open up or will it open down? So that is step 1, figuring out what is A and which way is it going to open. So we're all writing that under step 1. A equals 1. So it's positive, so put distractions away for me. Underneath step 1, A is positive, therefore we're going to open up. A is positive, so we are going to open up. Questions about our first part? All right, part 2 is to find the axis of symmetry. So we're going to find that line that's going to cut it in half. Okay? They have given me a formula. You've seen this before. It's been a little bit since you have seen it, so we're going to remember. It is x equals opposite b divided by 2a. X equals opposite b divided by 2a. That gives me my axis of symmetry. It also gives me the first value of my vertex. So we said the vertex is on that line, right? Which gives me half of it. Step 2. We're going to find x is equal to opposite b over 2a. In this problem, what is my b value?
Negative.
It is negative 4, right? So it's going to be x equals negative 4 divided by 2 times a, which is 1. What is negative 4? Positive 4, 2 times 1 is 2. So we end up with 4 over 2, which is 2. So that is the line that's going to cut my graph in half, where x equals 2. Remember, this was like a 2-for-1 part. It gives me the line. It also gives me the h piece of our vertex. Vertex is hk. Finding the axis of symmetry is also finding the h value. So we know the vertex is on that dotted line, I just don't know where yet. Page 156. And you need to be getting some paper and getting our earbuds out. So what do you think step 3 is going to be? What do you think step 3 is, friends? Yes, finding the other half of my vertex. We're going to find our k value. Okay, how are we going to find k? We're going to plug in my h. Okay, so you have to find your h first before you can find our k. So to find k, we're going to plug in h. So for this particular problem, we have x squared minus 4 times x minus 12. So will be 2 squared minus 4 times 2, minus 12. What is 2 squared? 4. What is negative 4 times 2? Negative 8, good. And that negative 12 is just still there. So 4 minus 8 minus 12. What does that give me? Negative 16. Good. That is our K value. So if H is 2 and K is negative 16, then what's my vertex? 2, negative 16. Yep. We're going to plot these. We're going to count by 2's on my Y. So we're going to count by 2's on the Y-axis to help us out here so that it can fit. We're going to change the Y values each time so we can make sure our graph is going to fit on there. We'll keep our X's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not going to change those around. All right, is there a reflection point to our vertex? No. It's on the line, right? Yeah, so that's not going to have a reflection point. All right, step 4. You like step 4. Step 4 is the Y-intercept. You like it because there's no math involved. It's a piece of my equation, isn't it? It's the C value in our equation. So what is my Y-intercept?
Negative 12.
Negative 12. So it is 0, negative 12 is how you say where it is. So we can go ahead and plot that point on our Y-axis on our parabola. Does that have a reflection point?
Yes.
Yeah. So how far over on the other side am I going to go? 2 over the other side. So now I actually have 3 points going on here. So this was 2 away on this side, so we're going to go 2 away on the other side. Okay, so what do you think is next? Look at your I can statement today. Have we graphed it by the vertex? Yeah, I got my vertex. Do I have my Y-intercept? Sure. What am I missing? Our X-intercepts. So step 5 is find my X. Okay, to get our X-intercepts, we are going to have to factor. That's how we solve for X, right? We're going to factor. Yep. Yes.
How did you get 4 and negative 12?
How did I get 4 and negative 12? Okay, so this was the Y-intercept.
Yeah.
This other green dot is the reflection point.
I know.
Yeah, so I use this for my C value, my equation. I saw it was 1, 2 spots over. So I did 1, 2 spots to the other side to get this guy. Okay. All right, step 5 is going to be to get our X-intercepts, which means we're going to have to factor. All right, so we have been given x squared minus 4x minus 12. Let's draw our box. What goes in the first square? X squared, but goes in the bottom. Negative 12. These numbers are going to have to multiply to give me negative 12. They're also going to have to add to give me negative 4. What numbers are those? Multiply to give me negative 12. Add to give me negative 4. So 6 and 2, 2 and 6. One of them has to be negative, though. Which one's going to be negative? Negative 6, positive 2. What can we factor out of the top row? X, the bottom row. Just the 2. So you can take an X and a 2 out of the first ones. So we know that's my first factor is X plus 2. And then my columns, what can we factor out of the first column? An X, and then the second column, a negative 6. Good. So my other factor is X minus 6. To get X by itself, what am I going to do at this point? Make them both equal to 0. How are we going to move the 6 over? We're going to add it. How are we going to move the 2 over? We're going to subtract. Good. So we have X equals positive 6 and negative 2. And we can plot those guys up there. And you'll notice they are reflection points to each other. Your X-intercepts will always be reflection points. Both of these are they are 4 units to the left and to the right of our axis of symmetry. That'll always happen. And then from here, you can draw your U when we have our parabola. Questions about any of this? I'll give you a second to finish writing this stuff down. Okay, let's do another one. We're going to do another one. Yeah. All right, we have a new equation. Therefore, my A's, B's, and C's are different. So let me reset the board up here to get us ready. What is my new equation?
Negative X plus 4X plus 1.
Good, thank you. Negative X squared plus 4X plus 21. So what is my A value going to be this time? Negative 1. Good. What is my B value? 4. And what is my C value? 21. Good. Always label those first. It will make life easier for you. That way you know where to go back each time to get your values. All right, so what does that mean about my A value? What is it? It is negative 1, so is that positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative, so where's it going to go?
Down.
It's going to drop. It's going to open down. It's going to frown at us, yes. Good. This one's going to frown at me. So this time A is negative 1, which means it's going to open down.
Whoa, you actually won.
Okay? All right, yeah. Step 2. Okay, we have to find our axis of symmetry, which is also going to give me the first half of my vertex, which is going to give me an X equals value for my line and the H value for my vertex. So I need opposite B over 2A. What is my B value?
4.
We said it was 4. My A, we said was negative 1. So what is negative? What is negative 4? 4. What's 2 times negative 1? Negative 2. So where is my vertex going to be this time? It'll be at positive 2 again. So that is the line that is splitting our vertex in half. Is that X equals 2. Okay, it's the line. It's also my H for the vertex. So if I know the H, how do I use that to get my K? We're going to plug it in. All right. So part 3, we're going to, it's up here if you need it. If I push forward on the screen and you're not ready, I have everything up on the board also. So step 2 is your opposite B over 2A. Step 3, finding our K value, we're going to plug it in. So we have negative X squared plus 4X plus 21 this time. So it's going to be negative 2 squared plus 4 times 2 plus 21. All right. In my order of operations, we have to do the exponent first. So what is 2 squared? 4. And there is still a negative out front. What is 4 times 2? 8. And then we have plus 21. So negative 4 plus 8 plus 21 gives us 25. This time, our y's, we're going to count by 3s. So I want you to mark your y-axis. I want you to count by 3s. So the point 225, it's just above where that y is going to be at 24 if we're counting by 3s on the y's. All right, does that have a reflection point? No, it does not. It's on the axis of symmetry. There's no other point that I can plot. Questions about axis of symmetry or vertex? You've got to get those first. Have to. So tonight you're going to have to find your axis of symmetry and your vertex for your functions that you have. Yes?
For axis of symmetry, like, can you draw your graph to help you? Like,
You have to do the opposite b over 2a. That's how you get axis of symmetry. Right here.
well, not like the equation part. Like,
Axis of symmetry.
you want to do like scratch work? Like, can you, like,
This is the scratch work. This is what's needed for axis of symmetry. Yep. All right, you like step 4. What is our y-intercept according to the function?
21.
It is 21. Good. It was our c value. So since c is 21, our y-intercept is at 0, 21, which is over here. Does that have a reflection point?
No.
Yes, it does. Is it on the line? If it's not on the line, then that means there is a point on the other side of the line. Okay? So, how far away is it from the line right now? It's 2 away. So let's go on the other side 2 away. So we got that one and we got that one. Jaguar, what is step 5? All right, how am I going to do that? By factoring. Yes, we are going to factor to find our x-intercepts. That's our last piece. Okay? And they should be equidistant from each other, correct? Meaning they are reflection points. When I plot one and plot the other, they should be split in two by the axis of symmetry also. So, we did notice that my a value was negative, right? How could I make it not negative?
Oh, can you divide?
Yes, I can divide the whole thing by -1. Divide my whole equation by -1 because now I have x squared minus 4x minus 21 equals 0. And we can factor this. Yes. All right, so we have x squared, we have -21. That's what we're going to do to get my factors. All right, so what multiplies to give me -21, but adds to give me -4? A 7 and a 3 somehow? So one of them has to be negative. So do I want 7 minus 3 or 3 minus 7? Which one of those will give me -4? That one, right? So 3x and -7x. All right, what can we factor out of the top row? An x. Good. What can we factor out of the bottom row? A -7. Wait, too many things going on at once. All right, so an x comes out here, A -7 comes out here, so we know that's my first factor. All right, how about the first column? An x, the second column, a 3. So x plus 3 is our other one. So when we make both equal to 0, and we solve for our x's, how am I going to move this 7 over? We're going to add it. How am I going to move the 3 over? Subtract it. So we have x-intercepts at 7 and at -3. So there's -3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just like that. All right, were they reflection points? Yes, they better be. If they're not, we messed up somewhere. They should always be reflection points. And is it opening upside down like we thought it would? Yep.
Does that mean like they're the same distance from the...
Yep. Yep. Questions, comments, concerns about those first two? The third one is a real world problem, and then we're going to beat the test to find Mia's mistake. Right. All right, ignore this. They have quadratic formula on there. I didn't want to do quadratic formula. You still get the same answer, but it wasn't necessary, so that's why I showed you just factoring. All right, here we go. Real world stuff. We have Jorah on a zip line in Las Vegas that rides down Fremont Street. Okay, there's an equation for the zip line. It is -2.3 t squared plus 114. That's showing the height over the time in seconds when we're going down the zip line. Okay. First thing it wants me to do is to find my vertex. So let's reset everything. Boop, boop, boop. We need a new equation. We need new A, B's, and C's. Okay, ready? What is our new equation? It is -2.3 t squared, and it is plus 114. What's different about this equation? It has a decimal. What else? It's negative, okay.
It has no C. It has no B.
It's missing something. Do we agree it's missing the B value? Because shouldn't there be a plus something T here in the middle?
Yes.
Yes. So what is really there? A 0 T, right? There's a 0 in the middle. We don't have my T value. So, what is my A?
-3.
What is A? DJ. What's B? What's C? Not 11. 114. There we go. Thank you. All right. It's not asking me if it's opening up or down, but we can still ask ourselves, is this going to open up or down? It will open down. Does that make sense with the problem? If you're doing a zip line, should it be going down?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
I mean, sometimes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he should be going down. There's a thing called gravity. If you zip line, you will always go down.
There's no gravity on Mars.
Every time. Well, when they zip line on Mars, we can deal with that. But as of right now, it's not happening. Okay, so we have to find the vertex of the function. So what piece of my vertex do we find first?
8. Yeah.
We do the opposite, b over 2a. What was our b value? It was 0. What's my a?
2.3.
-2.3. So that gives me 0 over what? Negative 4.6, which is just
4.6.
no 0. 0 is my h.
I'm slow.
All right, we have to plug it in to find the rest of our equation. So the rest of my equation, let's see here, it is negative 2.3 t squared plus 114. So we just said that my t value was 0. What is 0 squared?
0. 0.
What is 0 times negative 2.3?
0.
So what is 0 plus 114? 114. So my vertex is going to be at 0 and 114. All right, we're not plotting points yet. We're finding our pieces. All right. Y'all, there's a lot of talking going on, and you need to stop. If you're choosing to not participate today, to not take notes, to not pay attention, then you can let yourself be distracted today. You are not going to let my other students who want to learn, you will not keep them from learning. If you're making the poor decision to not be part of this class today, I'm not letting you do it to someone else. Did not ask me for my Y-Intercept, but what is it? 114. Makes sense, doesn't it? Remember real life stuff? So if he's starting over here at a zip line, right? And he's falling down, doesn't it make sense that my vertex and my Y-intercept is the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. When we go to factor this one, we already noticed it was different, right? Because it didn't have the middle piece. So there was a special way we could solve. We could solve by using square roots. So let's get my t squared by itself. So I can actually subtract 114 from both sides. Then I can divide by negative 2.3. So we have negative 2.3 t squared equals negative 114. Then divide. What does that give me when I divide? 49.57. Okay. And then how do I get to undo a square? Square root, yes. So again, the reason why we're not drawing our box is because this one was special. Because the middle piece was missing, it was a 0t. We can just move everything over and then square root. So I only have one t to deal with in my equation.
Yeah, it's 49.
So when I square root both sides, we're going to get t is equal to positive and negative 7 point something, right? 7 points.
0, 4, 0, 5, 9, 6.
All right. Now, how come I said it's only going to take about 7 seconds to hit the ground, but I just totally left out the negative 7 seconds? Because you can't go negative time. You cannot go negative time. So we know he is starting at 114 feet above the ground. We know it's going to take 7 seconds to hit the ground. We have the 2 points, the beginning and the end. Okay? I'm going to give you a table to help make the points in the middle more exact. And all I'm doing is I'm plugging in 1. I'm plugging in 2. I'm plugging in 3. I'm going to show you the y's are going to count by 20. The x's are going to count by 1s. I've given you a table of values, and again, I figured that out because it took 7 seconds. So I plugged in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to plug in those points to get my middle pieces of my function. So to make it the most exact, I can plot them, and then that is the graph for my zip line. So I'll give you a second to graph that.